You are are you the founder of Amiga Ireland?
I would be, yeah.
So you started this whole thing 4 years ago.
That's right. Actually, probably a bit before that. It started off with just setting up various groups, a meetup.com one, a Facebook one, to see, could we collect and aggregate Amiga people in Ireland, or do they even exist? And after about a year, we reached a certain number where we felt we could run an event, and that was 2000 and so what are we now? 2016, I think. So this is our fourth event.
Oh wow! Now, when you were first organizing this event, did you anticipate it growing to the size that it is now?
No, absolutely not. I thought I'd make a few friends and maybe we'd swap discs, Yeah.
And the first Amiga Ireland was here, right, at the Prince of Wales?
It was, yeah.
Yeah, and you used the same ballroom?
We used half of what you see there.
Okay.
There were fewer than 20 of us, maybe 19 people in there. And we had a great time.
Oh wow! So was the format the same at that first Amiga Ireland? Did you have tournaments and talks and things like that?
No, it was completely unstructured. We just turned up and brought what we had and figured it out as we went.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
When did the structure fall into place?
That's a good question. I suppose two things happened that made the structure important. The first thing was that we contacted David Pleasance. I contacted him the night before one of our events. I can't remember if it was the first or the second, and he agreed to do a Skype interview with us, a short notice, which was amazing. Nobody could believe this was happening.
Oh sure, he's one of the major players in the Amiga scene.
Yeah, and if you've been out of the scene for a long time, you just don't expect to see. I wish you could have seen their faces. I wish I had a photograph looking back, the people in the behind the scenes. I can't believe. But anyway, so that we started to need a structure because we started doing something structured, like meeting people at certain times for interviews and stuff. And the other thing then is we started to grow, and then the more people you have, you do need to be organised. Otherwise,
it becomes chaos.
It does, and mind you, we had quite a bit of chaos today, and I was worried about it. But people are actually enjoying the chaos there. A certain amount of wildness is okay, but you do need to have at least a backup plan.
Oh yeah. What do you think it is about? What is the secret? Because there are retro events all over Europe, and some of them sort of are like fireworks. They shoot up and then they burn out almost immediately. What is it about Amiga Ireland that you think has allowed this event to continue to grow?
I would say, first of all, I think the Amiga draws really, really cool people, really passionate people. Really easygoing people. When things go wrong, we don't have complaints. It's like, don't worry about it, or how can we help, or what I mean. It's not like other events really that I've been involved with, kind of more loosely in the past. So first of all, I think Amiga draws great people. Also then people like Trevor Dickinson and David Pleasance getting on board, and people coming to visit, people like yourself coming here. It's fantastic. We honestly can't believe it. And the first time somebody flew in from overseas, I nearly had a panic attack. I was like, Jesus, they're going to be so disappointed when they come and see what's here. Like, this is nothing like what they have in Germany or the States or anything like that. And I suppose that probably helped us think, okay, we need to up the game a bit so that no one's disappointed.
Yeah.
So what is it about the Amiga Ireland event? I think it's the Amiga and the Amiga people. And maybe I think our location is good too. I mean, some people in Britain have said to us, it's easier for them sometimes to come here than it is to organise something in the UK, just because of getting places and trying to get everyone in one place. So I don't know, and maybe there's a bit of luck in there too.
Yeah, well, there's always a bit of luck in everything.
Yeah.
What are the things that you've done over the past 4 years, apart from just basically making a schedule, that you think has really improved the quality of the event?
Right. Well, the first thing is to acknowledge the different reasons people love Amiga, right? Like, there's a lot of conflict in the Amiga communities at times.
You don't have to tell me.
Yeah, but the reason for that is because the Amiga was so many different things to so many different people, because it's such an amazing machine. Okay, so some people were into the art, some people were into the hardware engineering, the software, all kinds of different things. Okay, so we've got different passions, horses pulling in different directions, and that's what I think is the kind of the foundation of a lot of the conflict. So if you can run an event that caters to everybody, which is why we do workshops now. Try and get there's people there who don't even have the skills yet but want to learn, and onboard them so that they go home. They came in with an Amiga that can play games. They go home with an Amiga that can play games, and they can create music on, or they can, if you can do something like that, that really adds value and keeps people connected.
Oh, sure. What do you envision? I mean, the future of Amiga Ireland. Are there things that you would like to do that you feel limited by, for example, the space or our location? Where would you like to take Amiga Ireland in the future?
That's something I think about every year.
And you don't have to give specifics. You can talk broadly. Yeah.
Okay. Well, the first thing is I don't want to lose. When these things start off, they often have a warmth and a charm to them, because of who's there, and I don't want it to upscale and lose that. So that's the first thing. So I want us to grow, but not forget what actually makes it a nice event, the things that matter. And so what I would like to do is, I suppose, see it get bigger, see us get financially. We're non-profit, which means we don't take any money for accommodation, food and drink and stuff like that. It all goes back in. And the idea is that we will know for the next couple of years we're safe, or if we, some year if we want to fly somebody in, maybe we can do that. So I suppose that kind of thing. And the other piece would be to get people using their machines as much as possible for whatever it is they're into. The workshops have really grown here, and I think there's a connection between the increased popularity of the workshops and the growth in the attendance figures.
I think that I found that that's true, at least with our own YouTube channel, is that people really respond to anything hardware related. They really want to understand what makes their system tick and how to keep it running, for the future.
Yeah.
So my final question is, what is the Amiga to you, and what makes it so special?
Oh my god, that's a terrible question. The reason it's special is because it's everything. Amiga was possibilities. Certain machines were certain machines. They were kind of like almost appliances compared to the Amiga, but the Amiga isn't an appliance. The Amiga is everything. Your website's called everythingamiga.com, and I think that's a great, summary of the Amiga.
Well, I'm not satisfied with that answer. I want to know more. So, when you started using the Amiga, what was it that attracted you to it, other than the fact that it could be so many different things? Was there one particular facet of the Amiga that most attracted you?
One particular facet. Well, the coding did, basic coding, even though it was more me reading it. I didn't really, I never got a programming environment on it till later, but I always thought back about what I could have done with the Amiga had I known what I learned later. That was one part. The art, I did use Deluxe Paint to make animations. It's crude, but I was very interested in cinematography and special effects before computers got involved. So things like animation and how do you make something look like an explosion, like a flash? How do you do that with just slides, on Deluxe Paint? So I really put a lot of time into that. Then, of course, Star Trek: The Next Generation came out a couple of years after I got my Amiga, and they had a talking Amiga. They basically had a talking computer with a database in it, and we had that. I got a database as a cover disc with a magazine, and the Say application could repeat stuff back to me.
So it was like you were living in the future.
It was like I was living in the future, and it felt like I'm a part artist. I like to create stuff. I like projects. This thing every year is like a big art project. I see it as. And the Amiga is like an artist's tool. You can just you can have a vision of some kind and say let's see what we can do, and that doesn't need much explanation, maybe.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. I've got one more question. Okay, you got 15 minutes to kill. Okay, before you've got to go out or something. You've got time to play one Amiga game. What are you going to throw in there?
Okay, I'm not going to rush the answer to this because I do have an answer.
Okay, take your time.
Yeah. Can I give two answers?
Sure.
If my daughter is with me, it'll always be Rodland because she loves Rodland.
I love Rodland. It's a great game.
It is great. Yeah. And let me see. Yeah, and for me then it's often the slow strategy games or point and click adventures. So let's say Settlers. Yeah.
Great choice. Yeah. So we're talking about the Galway hooker beer.
Yeah. So there's the craft beer scene really took off in Ireland in the last couple of years in a big way, and one of these beers is called the Galway hooker. And so Galway is the county I'm from, and the hooker is a style of boat. So this is a selection. I don't know. Should you want to show a couple or one?
Sure. If you just show it, put one, and I'll put it up.
Okay, that's the best representation there.
Okay, so we'll just put that up there like that. There we go. Perfect.
Yeah. So yeah, these boats, like you see them where I live, going out a lot, and they would, gather. Especially seaweed was a big one. It was a big part of our diet, and these would be collected in these boats and then brought inland and sold and traded in markets and stuff like that. So sorry about that. So yeah, these boats are still active, and the sort of the symbol of the Galway hooker is you still see it a lot, like used in certain businesses might use it as their brand or something like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Are there places you can go to learn to sail a boat like that?
I don't know of any, but I would be surprised if you couldn't.
Because it seems like that's another important part of Irish culture and heritage that is maybe in danger as it becomes easier to just fish from any old boat.
That's right. Yeah.
The Galway hooker. Are there any other sort of craft beers that are really big in Ireland right now? There
are, but I'm not as big a drinker these days, so I can't. Oh, okay. There's another amazing one made in out in Connemara. So this is out in the countryside in the west, and it's called Bogman. Okay. Bogman. Okay. Yeah. So the bog obviously is where they go when they they dig their sods of turf that they would have used to burn on the fire until the bogs became protected. So this Bogman beer, there's just something very fresh.
Is it like an Islay Scotch where you have that peaty and smoky flavor?
It's not like that.
Okay.
And you're a pro. I don't have the terminology.
Oh, that's okay. I don't know anything.
But it's filtered through seaweed.
Really?
Yeah. So there's a real. It's like a breath of fresh air. It's really nice. It's lovely, and I don't mean just the flavor. There's something else to it. It's called Bogman. Yeah. And the guy who makes it, he makes it himself out in Connemara, and I think it's a picture of him wearing his woolly hat, and he's just kind of sitting there like this, and that's it.
Are you not allowed to harvest peat from the bogs anymore?
Not anymore, as far as I know. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they're protected.
Oh.
Yeah, they're kind of dwindling, and we also there are ecological problems in Ireland. People think of Ireland as very green. Mm-hmm. And technically it's green, but our biodiversity is really bad, and we have very little, the lowest amount of forestry in all of Europe.
Really?
Yeah, and it's kind of agriculture mostly that has done that. So now there are kind of movements growing to try and bring back indigenous plants, indigenous wildlife, and things like that, and to try and reverse that trend.
Right. I just wonder, for the people that have lived this whole way, in the rural areas of Ireland, I guess it's always a balance of sort of preserving a way of life versus...
Absolutely. It's mixed feelings,
Yeah.
Yeah, so when you go out if you see the guys who go out to dig, or the ladies who go out to dig the turf in the bogs, they've got these special kind of shovels. Sometimes they've got this right angle thing, and they slice it in and they pull it out, and you've got this length of turf, that you would burn. And there was a community who was kind of known through my family. We didn't know them directly, but somebody was having their turf stolen.
I guess this was a thing back then.
Yeah, it was being taken. It's not that long ago. This could be in my lifetime, or definitely my parents' lifetime. So yeah, it was being stolen by somebody. But the thing is, the communities were small, so whoever it was, it was somebody you knew, and but it was difficult. This person found it very difficult to find out, how it was going on for so long. So eventually what they did was they put gunpowder inside the turf.
Oh, so when they went to heat it.
Yeah. So one day somebody's stove exploded and the whole village knew the thief was.
Oh my gosh, what an ingenious plan.
Yeah.
Have you ever been around a peat stove before?
I've been around a stove, but not with peat in it. Or do you mean a specific type of device?
No. I mean what you might find in the Irish countryside. A stove that would burn peat for fuel.
Yeah. Well, there are big brick open fires that would have peat burning on them. Yeah. So and there's a very distinct smell off that as well.
I'd love to go somewhere to the countryside and experience that.
It's amazing actually out there. Yeah. It's like a complete world apart. So our capital city, Dublin, has a particular flavour to it, and then you go to say a city like Galway on the west side, very different again. And you go to the countryside, it's completely different.
If you were going to give advice to somebody that wanted to explore the Irish rural countryside, are there any particular counties or places that you would recommend?
Yeah, well, I'd say I'd say rent a car for starters, and I would say go to Kerry. It's in the south, and see the Ring of Kerry. It's one of the most beautiful drives in the country. Now there are other places as well. That is one place I would say to go to for sure. Connemara is also incredibly beautiful. And the cliffs.
That's where the cliffs are, right?
Yeah, the cliffs of Moher, and be careful if you're in the cliffs of Moher.
You'll fall off.
Yeah, we lose people there every year.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Iarla. I really appreciate you taking. You're so busy in there, talking to so many people, and making sure things run so well. Thank you so much for organizing and putting on this event. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, and thanks for coming.